Okay, hi everybody. I've decided it's finally time that I tell you guys about this piece that I made and how I did it. As you can see, I've got the Valentine's Day stuff up because we are nearing the month of February. So, I mean, look how cute. All I did was I got the tinsel from the dollar store, and I actually made that heart years ago. And if you guys are interested to know how I did that, I can make another video talking about that. So to start with, these shutter pieces I actually found at the DI. It was $10, and they were both together. I actually took them apart so that way we could add the little window frame in between. So I grabbed some paint and I painted both of them, and then we took a wood stain over the top of that just to kind of give it some extra texture. As you can kind of see that little bit of texture, so that way it's not just one straight color. And I really like that we did that. Another element, the window frame itself. So for this, I went to Lowe's and I just found the cheapest pieces of wood. I believe they were like 98 cents per piece. And then I had them cut those pieces into smaller pieces. So in all reality, I think I bought 4 really long pieces. I don't remember the exact measurements. I want to say they had to have been over 6 feet each. And we actually didn't end up using them all. I got extra just in case I didn't have enough pieces of the right size, or if we, screwed up putting them together, we would have some extra pieces to work with just in case. So if you do go that route, make sure that you try to pick the straightest possible pieces that you can find. This is not even 100% straight. There's a little bit of flaws with it. Like you can see there's a bit of a gap here and a little bit right here. There's also, little imperfections in the wood itself. Even after painting it, we still had issues with little nicks in certain places. So just be careful on the pieces that you pick. Make sure they're as straight as you possibly can find. To get them to stay together, we used a wood glue, and we also used those the wood staple things. I'm not good with terminology, so that's probably not the right word for that. So that's all there was with that. After it dried, I went ahead and painted all of that. After the wood paint, or the wood glue, the wood glue. After the wood glue dried, then I painted it. Moving on, I got all these frames from assorted places. So I got, these two were actually from a thrift store, and they were originally black, and I painted them blue just to kind of fit with the rest of the theme that we have in the house. I got this mirror from the dollar store, believe it or not, and that was a win for me. This picture frame I got from a vintage store, and it came with the picture inside, and I am leaving it there for now because honestly I think that's a beautiful picture, and so I don't want to mess with it. Other pictures will be added into the other frames eventually. But for now they are empty. We're gonna do some couples pictures, get pictures of the dogs, probably put the dog pictures in here, and then couple pictures in the rest of these. Now this frame I got from a different vintage store. I actually had a different frame that went up here, and it was made of a porcelain material. And when I was cleaning, it fell from its spot and shattered all over the floor. And then after I thought I had picked up all the pieces, I found that there were other pieces that were still on the floor that my little puppy got a hold of and started chewing. And so I did a more thorough sweep after that to make sure she couldn't find any more. And then I replaced it with this one, which is very, very similar looking to the original one that I had. The difference with this one is it is wood, which makes it a lot more comforting for me, knowing that if it falls, it won't shatter. So this one, on the other hand, is still porcelain, and so I have to be really careful with that one. I got this piece, the round one, and the original rectangle piece from the same vintage shop. This one I got from a different vintage shop after the original one broke. And this one, eventually I'm going to paint it black with the gold trim to match this piece and to match this piece that kind of has a slight wear on the edges. So I didn't really feel the need to paint it gold. I felt like it looked good enough left alone. The letter R for Roper, that's my man's last name, and that's going to be my last name by the end of the year. I found this at Walmart. I think it was either Walmart or Joann's, but they both offer the wooden letters. And then I went ahead and I painted it blue, and then I kind of sanded, well, first I painted it a gold color, and then I sanded it out after, well, sorry, let me start over. I painted it gold first, and then I let that dry, and then I painted it blue over the top of that, and then I waited for that to dry. And as soon as the blue was dry, then I went ahead and sanded it off a bit, just so you could kind of see the gold paint underneath to kind of, again, give it more texture. Last but not least, after getting all of the pieces, we had to attach everything together. So what I started with is we found ways to hang the picture frames. You can see the little gold wire here, and you can kind of see it right there. And that is just one big wire. And let's see if we can move this so you can see it. It's not very pretty from the back end. Let's see if I can do this without making the whole thing tip. Let's actually show you from this side, because this side is a little more. There we go. Okay, so there's other pieces on this side too. So it's not the prettiest to look at from the inside, but to me personally, I didn't really care so much about that because it's against the wall and you can't see it. So that doesn't bother me. If it bothers you, you know, you can modify it however you choose, but you can kind of see where it goes in and out. And that's where those hooks are created to hold those frames in place. And so they're pretty good and stuck on there. I'm going to move this back. Okay, and then the last thing was connecting the shutter pieces to the window frame. And what I did is I just went to Lowe's and I got these little joint pieces. So these will move. These can, you know, bend, and I can just kind of take this and I can fold it in. And then I can put it back. And this just makes it easier to situate this whole thing where I want it, especially if we need to move it somewhere else. That just kind of makes it easier to kind of, you know, fold it up. And it can also stand on its own if I can get it angled out just right, but I prefer not. I feel like it's just a little bit more stable with chairs or a table or just something to kind of hold this whole thing together. And I'm going to get all backed up so you can see the whole thing. And there it is. That is the whole window frame. And also it did come with that little knob. And I left it there. I just thought it was a good detail just to leave on there, so I decided to keep it. So, yeah, that is that project. I want to be making more videos in the future with more crafts, so if you like what you see, keep following and there will be more crafts to come. And I'll probably paint that frame up here for one of my projects as well. And again, if you are interested to know how I created this cute little Valentine's Day heart, let me know. Thanks everybody. Bye.